What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Otterline. My name is Chris. We are going to go over yesterday's results and today's picks, and then dive into some new features on the website that I'm pretty excited about. I'm constantly in development, so if you are a premium subscriber, just know I'm constantly tweaking, working on the site to make the experience better for you. Just having a sip of my coffee here. Okay, so last night consensus picks went 6 wins, 4 losses, which is nice because that was a tough slate. Diamond picks went 1-0, and my picks, Melodic Spotlight, went 2 wins, 1 loss. So that puts us to 44 wins, 29 losses at the season for a 60% win rate. If we look at the NHL headlines from the past day, nothing overly exciting, but we do have the Blues top scorer Thomas out for at least 2 weeks. The St. Louis Blues put leading scorer Robert Thomas on injury reserve Thursday and said the veteran center will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So that's big, especially for the game tonight where they're taking on, who are they playing tonight? They're taking on Tampa Bay, which is a big game. I don't like their chances in that one, but if you bet St. Louis and they win, that's quite the payout. But going back to yesterday, so yesterday consensus picks, we went 6 wins, 4 losses on the night. Some close games, Montreal, Buffalo. I avoided that game. So the model told me avoid this game. A little bit too tough to figure out a clear signal, but the model ultimately did pick Buffalo, and Buffalo did win. So the model did call that one correctly. I avoided it, but that was one of those games that I thought Montreal was going to win. Personally, that's kind of where I was leaning, and I was wrong. Now, the best value we did yesterday was the Dallas Utah game. It was pretty well 50-50, and Utah won. That's not a bet I would ever make on my own, so that was pretty cool to see. You love to see that. The Toronto Vegas game was wild. Huge comeback by the Golden Knights. That overtime goal. People are really hating on Austin Matthews for that overtime goal. Now, to add a little context, he was on the ice, I believe, at that point for over a minute and was dead tired. So probably the issue is more he's on the, but like he's professional, maybe get off the ice. I don't know. It was kind of an ugly play. I just hate ripping on players. But Vegas wins that in overtime. Absolutely sick goal by Eichel, I believe, scored that final goal. I watched the overtime. I was watching the score from my bed, and like I thought Toronto had that game locked. Vegas came back, tied it, and won in overtime. So Toronto fans probably in shambles today. Not a great time to be a Toronto fan, but Toronto looks good this year. They have really nothing to worry about, I would say, at this point. Um, yeah, huge slate. Oh, one thing too, that Winnipeg Minnesota game. So that's one of the picks I lost. Very shocked. So Winnipeg now is looking. Like it's crazy how these teams can just flip the script so quickly. Like Winnipeg couldn't win a game against anyone, and now they come in to beat Minnesota 6-2. I don't know if that says more about Winnipeg or Minnesota. I didn't actually watch that game, but I mean, good for Winnipeg, man. I would have liked to see Minnesota win for our bets, but we still had a good night. 2 wins, 1 loss. I'll take that every day of the week. So let's look ahead to today. So this is otterline.club/stream. This is the best place if you're a premium member on the Otterline, $10 a month to watch the games because they will update in real time. You can see the spotlights and headlines, and it's just a good place to hang out. I'll just leave the screen on while the games are on. They update and they change color depending on our pick. So as you can see, like the red, obviously our picks lost there, and the green they won. So what we got going on today? So today's a tough slate because all of the teams the model picked are heavy favorites, and I don't like betting on heavy favorites because Vegas is against you on these picks. Like, example is um, Detroit and San Jose tonight. They're giving Detroit a 65% chance to win, and like they probably are like the favorite here. Like, there's a good chance Detroit does win this game, but the risk to give up your whole unit against San Jose, who is a great team that just beat Washington, is not worth it. Like betting this game, Detroit just simply is not worth the risk because even though they're saying 65% chance Detroit, 36% San Jose, the odds truly are more like closer to 50-50, really. So if this game was more of a 50-50 kind of a range, I would bet it, Detroit. But at this price, like given San Jose 36% chance to win is wild. San Jose's got a great team. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're 11-10 on the road. I would like just in terms of betting, like I'm not betting this game because the model says Detroit, but if I was just going willy-nilly, like I would say San Jose is probably not a bad pick. And same with Florida tonight. Like Florida against Carolina, like Florida has their number. They've done really well against Carolina. They're 10-9 on the road. Both teams last 10, same record. Both teams not playing their best. Like this is 60% Carolina win, 40% Florida. Like I would say Florida's a good bet here. Now, the model picks Carolina. So the reason I only have one bet today, so my picks today is just the LA Kings against the Anaheim Ducks, simply because it is the best, it's the most reasonable kind of price, right? So they have LA at 59%, which still I don't love. Don't love it. Our win rate on this is 60%, so it kind of matches, but we're taking LA. It's the only game that's somewhat reasonably priced, and it's definitely not a given that LA is going to win. Anaheim's got a surprising team. Like they don't look great lately, Anaheim, but it's the NHL. Any team can beat any team on any given night. So it's one of the reasons I'm not picking any of these underdogs. If the model had an underdog, I would take it, but the model doesn't. So we're going just one pick. This is the first time I've done just one pick this season. So Colorado, Nashville. I mean, the model gives Colorado 60% chance to win. Polymar is giving Colorado 73% chance to win. The risk we have with Tampa Bay and Colorado, if you're betting it, is when 5 models have agreed on a heavy favorite, they've only won 50% of the time, which means like these really heavy favorite games, the market is super against you. Like you're risking your whole unit thinking it's a shoe-in kind of win when it's really not. Like Nashville can surprise Colorado. St. Louis can surprise Tampa. Probably won't happen, but it's very, very possible. So tonight I'm only taking LA because there's just too many really heavy favorites and it's just not a good night for bettors. This is the kind of night where like the house makes the money. This is like Vegas is making their money tonight on slates like this. So I'm avoiding most games tonight. Now, if something happens and they kind of even out throughout the day, because lines do move, I might pick one up and I'll let you know. But at this point, my picks is just LA. So that's kind of where we're at. And if we're looking at the LA versus Anaheim Ducks, we do have LA as a pick, 55 game sample size with a 60% win rate. Anaheim is 1-8-1. LA is 4-4-2. So still not great, but better than the Ducks. At home, LA, not great either. 7-10-6. The Ducks are on the road, horrible. 9-13-2. So, I mean, not great, but we have additional signals here. This is a feature that I like. There's a home ice and smart money signal on this that's got like a 65-70% win rate. So we like to see that. And when these models have agreed in the 55-59% win rate, it's gone 3-0, which isn't a huge sample size, but it's just good to note. So we like to see that. So LA, that's the only pick we have on the slate today. And looking at the website, so constantly adding new stuff. It's like all I do is just work on the website, add stuff, fix bugs, stuff like that. So if you are a premium member, you can actually go over here to more on the website, P&L tracker. And within there, you can set your unit size, your odds, American or decimal. And then you can, make your parlays, do your single bets. So it'll track everything. So here you see a history. There's all my bets I've done so far this year. There's 76 in there. And it takes that information. Well, first of all, it's just helpful because you get to see your cumulative P&L. You get to see your monthly breakdown. It'll break it down by calendar. So you can see like your streaks and how good the month has been for you. monthly breakdown, cumulative P&L. And then you go over to insights. And like this is basically useless, but it's just like kind of fun information. So I'm on a 6-day winning streak. My worst is a 2-day losing streak. Um, kind of random data. But the thing that's interesting here that I find is kind of fun is like when I've bet for Pittsburgh, I've gone 3-0. Montreal is my kryptonite. So I bet them 4 times and I've lost 3 of those times. I picked Seattle the most. They've been my biggest cash cow. I beat LA twice, which is funny because I'm betting for them tonight. So hopefully they win. And my toughest opponent is I've bet against Utah twice and lost both those times, which is also kind of interesting. So if you are using the P&L tracker on the website, be sure to check out the insights and get to some random data. And what else did we work on? Oh, right. I wanted to show you this. So on the website, there's a thing called the lab. I do not recommend you use the lab to make your picks. Okay. I do not recommend you use the lab to make your picks because the lab is experimental features that I may implement into the algorithm at some point, but they are not yet proven. And I made this record tracker just to easily kind of keep my eye on them and it just so you can quickly see which features are the best. And Diamond Edge and Value Edge and Power Plays are the best performing, and they're all on the main page. So you don't need to come over here. But this is just experimental features. But I like this one. This is called Platinum Picks. This is the second version of it that I've done. And basically, it's got a filter on it that goes through 4 steps. So the first thing it's going to do is look at a game at the model's win rate for that combination. And if it's above 60%, it passes. Then it looks at the team's record in terms of home and away. How is this team at home? How is this team away? Oh, this team's really good away. Okay, that's our pick. Let's continue. And then it's going to look at the last 10 games. And if one team's really, this is like momentum, if they're like crushing the last 10 games and the other one's struggling, it's going to remove that from the pick. But if it's a reasonable kind of situation, it will continue to go through. And then we'll look at the additional signal. So if there's like some signal in there that means that we shouldn't take this pick, like the model knows that when we bet this percentage, like it doesn't win very often. Like there's just like additional signals within the algorithm that can ping. It will let us know and it will tell us to fade. So like Tampa, St. Louis, it's telling us. So it passed all the signals until it got to the 4th step, which is the trap. It's saying that when 5 models agree on a heavy favorite, it's only gone 50%. Let's not show this in the platinum. And then it faded the LA game actually because there's not enough sample size on that combination of models. So it's saying you should only bet Detroit and Carolina tonight. But we're not doing that simply because the odds just aren't that good. And this featured pick is still experimental. We've only had it for 1 day. So once this is out for, a month and a half, 2 months, you get a good sample size. You can see how good it actually is. At this point, experimental feature, but I think it's one that I've got high hopes for. So Platinum Picks. And then there's just a whole slew of other ones like that on here. Contrarian call. I see no people use this. It's risky. So it's like, it's looking for ways the model is wrong and making those picks. Obviously, over time, that win rate will not be great, but when it's right, it'll make you a lot of money. That's like what people like about it. Daily dog. This is trying to find like the dogs of the day. The model didn't like any dogs today, right? And it's gone 17 and 21 trying to find dogs, which is tough. Like that's a tough task. Again, experimental feature. If this ends up not working, we ditch it. But 17 and 21 on a dog, like I wonder if that might be profitable because the dogs, some of them are so heavily underdog that the payout might be enough to cover those losses. And the signal summary, this is actually, I really like this. Like, this is an algorithm that it's made up of sample size, win rates, that relationship. So I think this is actually a pretty good signal. And this is already integrated actually into the algorithm. So this is one that we actually picked up. But the lab is experimental. Don't use it to make your picks. If you want to make your picks, I really just recommend going to here, using power plays. Now we're not going to force picks. Like if things don't pass the filter and it's an ugly slate and nothing shows up here, don't force it. Just it is what it is. If you want to really be hands-on, you can go over to the consensus tab, and in the consensus tab, you can kind of get the info to make your own choices. Like the picks are kind of like us trying to do it for you. But you can go in here and kind of make your own kind of decisions. So you see the models up here where they agree. You can click into a game and you get this extra data, trap alert, win rates. Didn't populate Tampa's today, but it's not a big deal when you know they're 10-0. Yeah, so all the model combinations, all the data you need is here. Everything is absolutely here. $10 a month. That's all you need. Anyway, guys, that's it. Just going a little bit long. I'm starting to just rant. So that's it. All right, guys. Good luck tonight. Let's go LA. If you're making additional picks, I hope you win. And it would be awesome if we had a good night on consensus just for the model to have rich data. All right. Peace.